Hi everyone, happy Sunday and welcome to our Seer Sunday reading. For those who don't know me, my name is Deanna and I'm an intuitive card reader, psychic, channeler, and seer. And we do the Seer Sunday reading most Sunday mornings to get us a look at the energy that will meet us in the week ahead and get Spirit's guidance and advice for how we can use it to our highest and greatest benefit, which is awesome. So let's get started. So pre-shuffle energy this week, why are we talking fast? Pre-shuffle this week was a roller coaster, okay? But it was interesting because I was feeling the lifting in my stomach like you do when you take like the drop. And then I was hearing the Miley Cyrus song, The Climb. And so I felt like they were saying like, it's been all about the climb, but we didn't know when we would go like, and it's funny because we normally associate drops with like, oh my gosh, things are about to get really rough. But it actually felt like it was a positive shift in momentum, like where, again, we're gaining momentum, we're gaining speed. And it feels like was something that maybe we've been waiting a while for, but we've just been on the like tick, 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 tick for a while. And we're like, but I feel like we almost kind of got used to it just being the tick, tick, tick and like that climbing energy. But now I'm feeling like that, like, here we go. But I was feeling the lifting in my stomach where it almost kind of makes you nervous at first. Because again, it feels like we weren't expecting it to happen when it happens or as quickly as it happens, whatever this is this week. Again, I feel like we're gaining momentum around something that we've been waiting on for some time. But I feel like, again, we got stuck in that climb energy where we were kind of just like, all right, well, I guess I'm just going to stay here for forever. And so it's like, but now we're like on the downfall. And I don't want to say downfall as if it's a bad thing. It actually feels really positive. It just feels like it might startle us at first, where we're like, whoa, like hanging on for dear life because we didn't realize that it was time to do the drop and like get this roller coaster ride started. And I did see us like turning to people in our car, and it's like we were almost like panicking a little bit. But then I saw like someone like reaching over to the person sitting next to them being like, this is fun, right? So I almost feel like there may be some kind of acknowledgement from someone else in our group of like, do you see that this is everything you've been asking for and everything you've been working for coming to fruition? And that's a pretty cool and big deal. And then you're able to enjoy the ride because you're going like, oh my God, it is, it's finally happening. But again, I feel like at first we may be feeling a little like, what is going on? Like trying to just make sense of what's happening because it's a very sudden upheaval. And not an upheaval, again, it does not feel negative. It just feels like if you were on a roller coaster that had the longest climb ever and you start to go to that big drop that starts off all the loop-de-loops and all the fun stuff. If you weren't expecting it, you'd be like, you know what I mean? Like you'd have to kind of catch your breath a little bit, and that dropping in your stomach, it's like both uncomfortable physically and it can be fun if you understand that it's just part of the ride. So I definitely felt like there was a lot of momentum building this week. It did feel really good. And again, I very much feel like we're leaning on people in our lives this week to kind of remind us like, hey, this is like the start of all the good stuff. Like, here we go. And like kind of in it together, okay? And then we've got the spider. So this makes perfect sense with that analogy. So the spider is it's about our life's work. It's about our dharma. It's about what have all these little webs, these little links in our web that we've been building in what will eventually, like they're telling me like, look at this whole web as like, this is this spider's life story, right? And they're saying like ours is nowhere near over, right? But they're also saying like over time, like every little thing we've done, every chapter, and they're like referencing like back, it started from the moment you were born. You've been, no matter whether or not you consider them positive chapters or mistakes or triumphs or whatever that is, like they're saying it does not matter what it was. Like there's purple and green and blue and red and orange and yellow here, right? They're saying strokes of all types in our life story that build this bigger picture. And I really feel like this is saying like we're like kind of making another link in the web and starting on a new chapter. And so they're really saying that what's coming this week is a culmination of the web that we've already weaved. And it was really interesting because during the pre-shuffle in my tarot deck, the 5 of Pentacles and the 7 of Pentacles came out. And it very much felt like we were kind of moving from like things that we'd planted that went rotten on us to starting anew and actually planting new seeds because we've learned so much, right? I'm hearing we may have learned what soil does not work for those seeds, right? And I feel like there was a period of disheartenment and a period of like giving up and a period of like, why even try? Like I failed type of energy there. But I feel like we're actually planting new seeds now, and I'm hearing blooming in spring. So I've been referencing this all week because it just felt so profound to me. But one of my coworkers, Shantae, she posted on her Instagram, beautiful medicine woman posted, if we neglect this season of death and decay, right? Fall and winter, our death and decay, then our spring will be half-hearted. And I very much feel that energy here where we're planting seeds now because we've had the death and the decay, right? We've planted the seeds, and I'm hearing integration. I feel like we've done a lot of integration of all of the lessons that we've learned, right? They're referencing, look at how not all of these links in the spider's web are perfect, right? Some of them bleed into one another. Some of them cross over. Some have more space between them than others, right? We've learned to integrate all aspects of this into a bigger web that still works for us, which is super beautiful, right? It's about learning from our mistakes, learning what worked, learning that soil did not work because it didn't have the nutrients it needed, right? We may have been trying to get something off the ground, like a career or an idea off the ground, but maybe where we were trying to make it happen was not an environment that nurtured what it was we were trying to do. Or I'm hearing even more so, nurture the aspects of us we would need in order to achieve it, right? If we were like, I'm going to start my own business, I'm going to be successful, I'm going to do all this great stuff, but we're around a bunch of naysayers, or we have people in our life saying, you can't do that, that's too expensive, it's too this, that's not your skill, you're not really that good at that, are you sure you can, right? That wasn't an environment, right? And it's not necessarily, I feel like this is for a couple of people specifically, just as kind of like a little reminder. It's not that it's their fault, right? It's not that like these people brought me down, so it's their fault it didn't work. It's they're in their process, and they were beautiful teachers for us to learn, oh, being in this environment doesn't serve me. And I have to be willing to shift into different environments, into different soil, right? They helped us learn what doesn't work. And so we can move into what does work, or at least try something new that I feel like whatever we're moving into now will work much, much better. But again, it's because we've learned these lessons from the imperfections of the webs that we've already woven for ourselves. And I'm hearing it just keeps going, but these are the skills that will bring us, right? They're showing me the flies getting caught in the web. It will bring us what sustains us. It will bring us our joy. It'll bring us our passion. It'll bring us the career that we want. It'll bring us the relationships we want. Because again, we've used those to our advantage rather than denying those aspects of ourselves. And that's where the integration comes in. It's not just I feel like we've done a lot of healing, and now it's an integration of what we've learned. And actually, it's like they're showing me like bringing it forward and practically applying it to your life as you are. Okay, we've got It's Not That Deep. So I definitely feel like when they're talking about this dropping sensation, this hold on, I'm hearing from, I'm pretty sure this is from Jurassic Park, hold on to your butts. It's not that deep. It's not going to go that far, right? We're diving into the pool, but I'm hearing, they're showing me a pool, like this is like a diving board where it's like it's too shallow to dive. But what they're showing me is someone entering a pool that has like beach entry where it's like a slow, like downslope. So they're saying the momentum may feel like it's kicking off this week, but it's going to be an incline into this next phase, right? They're saying they're not going to overload you this week, but you may start to feel the shifting and kind of feel like I almost feel like when they were showing the dropping, right? We were kind of like, what's going on? Because we weren't expecting it. I don't feel like it's this like overnight, all your dreams come true and you're like, what? Like, it doesn't feel like that. It just feels like the journey begins, but that you're feeling the energy shift and going like, what's going on? And you can feel it in your body and in your spirit and your mind. I'm hearing a busy mind. There may be a lot of thoughts around it just because all of your subtle senses are going to be able to sense these shifts and changes, and your brain isn't going to be able to logicize why, because I feel like there may not be a ton of shifting in our external environment, but more so we're feeling the energy movement in our own selves, and all of us collectively will be feeling it. So I feel like it's just kind of like, it's not that deep. I'm hearing don't panic. When I heard like, it's not that deep, it was very much like it's not that deep. Like, chill out, take a chill pill, enjoy the ride. Nothing's happening overnight, right? They're saying like, you may find some changes do shift overnight. Like, obviously if there's a relationship that shifts or there's something like that, but they're just saying like it will be slow and steady shifting into this next chapter, because they're referencing again that Seven of Pentacles where it takes time for seeds to grow. We've planted seeds, we're feeling the shifting of being in new soil, but we're not quite ready to sprout, right? It's not the season. We still need water, we still need time, we still need sun, we still need all those nutrients to absorb and to be able to then come out of the soil and grow. And they're saying even once you start sprouting, like it takes time to grow the full plant or to grow into, I'm hearing a full eggplant, but like essentially to produce fruit, to produce vegetable, to produce flower, whatever that is, it takes the time that it takes. And so I feel like they're saying they will nurture, like they're showing me a spirit guide literally watering us from seeds to flower and letting us and allowing us this space and time that we need to bloom in a kind speed, okay? But then we have magic as immediate though. Again, this is where we're shifting things very quickly. So the energy is shifting quite quickly, and we will be growing. But again, this is that I feel like there's something that sparks in us that feels like a major shift. But again, our external may not directly reflect it right away. But I definitely feel like this magic is immediate, especially with they're referencing like this series of like full moon and eclipse energies coming up over the next year here. But also there's a lot of really powerful, and we're coming up on, they're referencing New Year's as well. There's a lot of really powerful intention setting energy ahead of us right now. And I feel like manifestations can come quite quickly to us if we are in, they're referencing last week, we were, looking at where we're aligned with what we're asking and what we're emanating and what that's bringing towards us. So I feel like whatever deeper understanding we got around what we're emanating and how we can tweak that to be more aligned with what we do want to receive, we're going to see the results quite quickly. And there, I don't know if this is true, I don't remember, but this card may have come out last week as well. But I definitely feel like there's really powerful manifestation energy. And again, they're saying like we're seeing the fruition of the web that we've woven, right? And again, here's that integration back again. They're talking about the integration of, so they're asking me to give the example of, so I was in the military, there's these two sides of me that feel quite differently about that experience. But I felt like this week there was an integration between acknowledging the hard aspects of it and the aspects of it that I have had to make peace with, and acknowledging the aspects of it that I loved and the aspects of it that helped me grow and that made me strong and that made me who I am. So it's this appreciation for the experience that allows me to take the bits that serve me and to integrate and accept the bits that taught me, right? And so I feel like there's a power that's come out of that integration and a deepening into myself that's come out of that integration of this made me who I am right now, right? And that's pretty cool. So I feel like there's a lot of people doing that right now. But our lives are transforming and our external is reflecting now the results and I'm hearing full potential of that integration, okay? So we may notice like, wow, like as soon as I'm hearing brought that into my heart, so there may be an experience that we've had trouble, again, integrating in a way where we're in acceptance and in almost, they're saying in like love with that experience, even if it was one that was, technically traumatic or even a little like really unfavorable. I feel like there's a shift in whatever that was that's allowing us to really embrace the full power of what we earned through that experience versus like they're showing me it's the difference between wings and an anchor, right? And instead of having that anchor us at the bottom of the ocean, drowning in it, we now have wings and we're actually able to use it to our greatest advantage, and to really let it help us embrace our own strength and like to soar above it and through it in a way where we're able to take that experience to help ourselves. But it feels like also we may be using it just to again bring our own light out into the world right now. And I'm hearing them say that's really all that they're asking of us right now is to just be ourselves and let our own inner joy just be, because that is the way that we can serve the world the best. And then we have take a field trip. So take a field trip, as soon as this one came out, I very much felt like there is this need to get out into nature and to ground this week again when there's a lot of momentum and it's energetic, but not necessarily in our physical world movement. It's very important to, I'm hearing be with the trees. So I'm seeing someone like just going through a nature trail or hiking, or even just I'm seeing sitting in the grass and taking some deep breaths. It's a really good week to ground because, again, that momentum can be a little unsettling. But I'm also feeling like they want us to try new things this week. So taking a field trip, go somewhere new, do something new, get out of your normal everyday environment, because I just heard inspiration. I feel like we may be inspired around what this is, or like it's almost like this experience may have you have a realization of like, wow, look how far I've come. Like, this is really cool. And there's something about this magic is immediate card that's coming up with this as well. So you may actually, by taking a trip somewhere else, find something you're looking for. That's what I've got. Bye.